In this video, I'm going to show you how I put together this really pretty succulent arrangement, and I did it in my kitchen. So I'm going to show you how you can garden even in winter. Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel as the case may be. I'm Patty. I go by Patty Mac Knits everywhere online. But I call my YouTube channel My Handmade Lifestyle, and that's because we do more than just knitting here, and today is going to be an example of that. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can continue with your gardening even in the worst of weather conditions. And that's what today is. Today is terrible weather. It is warm, so we have that going for us, but it's rainy, it's dingy, and sometimes you can't wait for ideal conditions to get your plants into their new pots. So today we're going to make this into a cute little arrangement. I'm going to be taking this one and moving it from that pot into this green pot. And the one over here, it's still in the plastic nursery pot, so we're going to go ahead and pull it out of the nursery pot and put it into its permanent home. And the one in the middle I have already done, and it's extremely happy. So let me show you the little bits and pieces that are going to go into this succulent. Yeah, it's all succulents. Yeah, this succulent arrangement, because it's really pretty. And as you'll see when we're done, this is something that you can like just tuck in to a windowsill or a small sunny spot, and it's going to be very happy. So let's take a look at the bits and pieces, and then we'll talk about how to put this stuff together inside, because as you can see, we're just in my kitchen. So that's where I do my indoor gardening, potting up and stuff like that. Any kind of maintenance, I generally do it right here in the kitchen, and I do it year round. It's better if you're outside, but we can't go outside today. All right, so let's take a look at the bits and pieces. Taking a closer look at what I've got, you can see that there's a couple of things going on. I've got this succulent in this little pot that I absolutely love, but I really need to move the succulent from that pot, and we'll talk about why. So I'm going to put this one in here. And these are both new acquisitions, and I put them together into this little pot, and they're just doing really well. Gangbusters, actually. This is all new leaves coming in down here, and this one is very, very happy. This thing is so unusual. I worked this little part-time job for Christmas, potting up some plants, and I got to do things I've never done before and work with a variety of succulents that I have not worked with before, and this was one of them. I don't remember the name of it. I'll look it up and I'll put it on the screen below. There are so many varieties of succulents that it's really hard to know all of them, but I will look it up and we'll put it in the information like, you know, down here. And then this one I thought was really cool. I will put on the screen the original arrangement that it came in, and I made that arrangement when I was working the job, and I liked it so much that I went ahead and bought it. And it really was not well suited for that planter, and in fact the little rosette succulent died, and so I have changed up that arrangement, and I'll show that to you in another video. Yeah, that's where that one came from, and it's really doing good here. And then this is a new one. Again, I don't know what it is. Let's see if it says, no, 4-inch succulent. That's it. But I liked it because it's fuzzy. I don't have any fuzzies, so that really hooked me. So we're going to put that one in here, and I loved this beautiful pot. Now, it was not the cheapest thing in the world, but you know what? It's really pretty, and you can make such gorgeous little spaces of greenery in your house using these really special, special planters. And then I got this thing that I was kind of excited about. So this, hold on, let me move that out of the way. This I was really interested in because it's a long plant tray, and I was taught through my Master Gardener training that all of your plants need to be set up on a bed of gravel. So what we'll do is put gravel in here, and you establish a gravel bed, and then you will place your pots on top of the gravel. And the reason for that is any water that drains out of the pot will disperse down into the gravel. And you know, some plants like the humidity, so that's good for them, but also it's to keep the potted plants from reabsorbing any water that runs off. You really don't want that, and you certainly don't want your pot to be sitting here in water. That is an absolute no-no. If you're having issues with your plants, you might want to revisit how you've got them set up, because if you've got them in a situation where you're watering and then this is sitting in the water and you think, oh, it'll just reabsorb that water, you really don't want that. So try making the change where you make sure that your plants are not doing that, and see if they improve. So the first thing I'm going to do here is step out back, and I'm going to get some pea gravel out of my garden and just put that into the tray, and I'll show you the garden. We'll just come around this way. I'll swing you around. It's a disaster right now. Let's just be real. Okay, so there you can see it. There's my mess of a winter garden. Because I was working that job, I really had no time to do anything back here, and it shows. Plus, it keeps raining. It's like constantly raining, just like it's raining today, and that has made it incredibly difficult for me to keep up my filming schedule. But anyhow, I'm going to go and just skip some gravel from there, and we're going to put that in the tray, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how I just repot my plants right in the garden, right in the kitchen. Oh, and there's two of my ducks. They like to come and visit. I do feed them. I know I shouldn't, but I do. And yeah, they keep coming back for more. Imagine that. And I will tell you, on this particular plant, I put it outside for today because it is warm, and what I did was flushed it out. I did a flush in the soil to bring it back a little bit. A lot of times your plants will really need you to just soak the daylights out of them and flush the soil completely, and that's what I did, and it's a lot happier now. It's also happier because it's getting more light. I don't think it's getting quite enough light where I have it, so we'll have to move it. But now I'm way off the topic. Let me go get the little bit of the stones over there, and I'll be right back with you, and we'll start potting up. I'm just rinsing. I can't really do it because I'm holding the phone with one hand, but you can see all the mess that I'm pulling out, and just, you know, it looks nicer. So that's what I'm doing. Let me finish it, and I'll put it in the tray, and I'll show it to you. Okay, for the first one, we're going to take this pot, and I'm going to put this plant in it. And I've taken the same strainer that I just used with the pebbles, and I've put some paper towels. It's down the sink because I'm going to, when I clean this up, I don't want that excess soil to just go down the drain. You really want to minimize how much debris you're putting down your sink drain, because that's not great. So that's down here, And I was talking to somebody when I was at the nursery looking at these plants, and she thought that she had to have a big scoop and all this stuff to repot her plants. I just have a big serving spoon. That's all I use. So it is important that you have the right soil mix. So I do use the cactus mix. That's important. And a lot of people they really go all out and do their own mix and do extra perlite and all that stuff. I'm not quite that fancy about it. What I will tell you is you want to make sure that you have a nice big hole in the bottom of your pot, and see that one has a really nice sized drainage hole. That is the most important thing. You can do it without drainage. This one over here is testament that it can be done. It's not as easy, and some of the succulents are more particular than others. But if you can get the drainage hole, just do yourself a favor and get the drainage hole. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just spoon, and we're going to do it over top of the piece that I set up in the sink so that I don't have soil going everywhere. And you might notice I didn't put anything in the bottom. And for the longest time, I put pebbles in the bottom, and we learned in Master Gardening not to do that. That is not recommended anymore. So I don't do it. If Virginia Tech has all of their research, which is where we get our information, and says don't do it, I'm not going to do it. So as a Master Gardener, we are basically trained to work with the public on best practices with plants, and that's what I'm trying to do here with this channel. All right, so what I've done is I've put the soil in, and you'll never be able to see this, it's too dark. But what I'm doing is I'm just sort of nudging it up the sides just to make like a well, because what we're going to do is we're going to take that new succulent and we're going to clean some of the soil off of it and put it in, and it's got to have a space to go in. So just nudge your fresh soil kind of up the sides just to make a space, and then we'll fill that in later as we need to. So let's take this one and just squeeze your pot. It's going to come out. This has really beautiful roots. Just going to knock off some of the excess soil, but I'm not going to overly disturb the plant, because it's a nice healthy plant. And I see people that go in and just I don't know, take everything off. I don't know why they do that. You do want to make sure that the roots are not growing in a circle. This is a little bit, this tells me it's been in the pot for a while. But the root structure is pretty delicate on this kind of plant, so don't beat it up. So I'm leaving that much on, and I'm just gonna set her down in there. And yeah, that's kind of it. And we're gonna just fill in around the sides. You do want to resist the temptation to really cram that soil in. You want to keep it so that it's enough to support the plant, but you don't want to really jam it down, because it affects the circulation, the air circulation, and the ability for the roots to uptake the water. So I'm gonna let it go like that. I know that's a little tall. Generally succulents or rosettes really super low, but I'm gonna leave it up because I think that's pretty. And to finish it, I'll top dress my soil. All that means is you're going to put some kind of a decorative feature over the soil. Just totally optional. I get these river pebbles. I just got these in the big box store. They were a lot less expensive there. You can pick them up in any craft store. And what I'm doing, is I'm just spooning, that same spoon, the pebbles. They're going everywhere. Normally I would do this down in the strainer, but I can't make the video like that. Okay, so there we go. That's it. Pretty. Just, you know, you're just covering the soil. It just makes it look a little more decorative, and this is in my home, so I would like it to be a little more finished looking. Okay, there it is. All right, let's take a look at this one. This planter is so cute. I got this at Anthropology on my birthday. See, this is 1.5 years old. So that plant has been in there about 1.5 years. And I mean, it's doing pretty good, but this is not the best container, and I have to really work at it to keep it going. Because you can see, even though it has holes, they're not efficient. They don't really drain, but I love the planter. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take this out of here, and I'm going to put it in that other pot, and I'm going to clean this up, and then this is going to hold air plants because it's a beautiful container for air plants, and it's so cute. I love it so much, but it's really fragile, so we have to be careful. For top dressing, like I used to do some of this dried moss stuff, and I don't really care for it anymore. It just, I don't know, it gets kind of yucky after a while, and I'm not as crazy about it as I am for the rocks. I do like the little rocks. So so this does show you that you can keep these alive without having proper drainage, but boy oh boy, you have got to be so careful in how you water. So we're going to just give this a new home, and I think what I'm going to do is knock some of the lower leaves off so that I can plant it down a little deeper, because it is getting a little bit tall. Although I like it. I like that wild look that it's got, and it's doing this cool thing here with the leaves. I think that's kind of neat. So, okay, let's pot that one up. This one came with a plug in the bottom. I don't know why. So I'm just going to take that spoon and knock it out. And it's going to just go in the trash bin, because I want the drainage. That's, you know, you really want that. And look how pretty this is. Isn't that gorgeous? I have a really nice nursery here. I have a couple of them actually. So just spooning in the soil, bringing it up the sides, just to make that little hole where we're going to put the plant. So let's pull it out. This really has very fine roots. I mean, there's almost no roots here at all. So I'm just going to pop off some of those lower leaves. And you can save those and propagate. I might do a couple because this is a really nice healthy plant. Okay. So there's the root development. See if you can see that. All right, I'm just going to pop it right down. Oh, that is perfect. Okay, so that's how it's going to be. And we're just going to backfill it a little bit. That's my new arrangement and I really like it. I'm going to go ahead and put it over where it will live, which is in the window, and the window gets western light. And they've been doing well with that light, so I'm going to just let them continue living there. The last thing I will leave you with on this video is that when you repot your succulents, you want to wait a few days before you give them any water. So what you want to do is you want to dry them out before you pot them, and then give them 2, maybe 3 days before you water them again. That's because the roots are so fragile and these things are prone to rot. And these are such lovely plants. We don't want to do anything to damage them now that we've got them in their new home. So I'm not going to water them for a few days. When I do water them, I will show you what that's like, because I want you to see how the pot should behave when you put the water in. And I think you might be a little bit surprised. But we'll take a look at that in the next video. For now, that's everything, and I hope you enjoyed seeing just one way that you can continue your gardening in the winter. And if you have any questions, drop them below. I will do my best to answer them, and I will just go ahead and see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.